Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here. We are starting a brand new week. US stock futures have already nudged up early when I had a look at the indices before starting this live stream. I believe that this is all motivated by anticipated results from major corporations, including companies such as Tesla, Netflix, Ford, GM, IBM, Intel, Procter& Gamble, Coca-Cola, all of them reporting this week. Last Friday closed out as a volatile week, but most indices posted modest gains. The Dow rose 1.56%, S&P 500 was up almost 1.7%, whereas the Nasdaq 100 climbed 2.46%. Markets are still looking for direction from both earnings and a delayed inflation report that should be released later this week, and that could set the tone for Fed policy. Trade war costs and shifting global sentiments are also beginning to manifest themselves. Global companies have begun quantifying over 35 billion in added costs from recent US tariffs. But new trade deals are prompting some to lower exposure in upcoming quarters, lessening the bite of Trump administration levies. President Trump and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent have in various ways signaled over the weekend that the trade tensions with China may be de-escalating, with tariff threats for November now considered less likely to be implemented. Now, I wouldn't believe anything until I see the same thing reflected in Chinese newspapers. I haven't had the opportunity to have a quick look at that because most of these things are spin. And I am thinking that whenever the market is likely to go down, there is a positive catalyst that comes in and keeps the market up. However, when I go to the trading view charts, you will see that the huge red candle that we formed when the market dropped is still the context within which we have been operating for the last so many days. So we are not yet out of the woods, in my opinion. AI chip makers and tech stocks continue to remain in focus. NVDA unveiled its first Blackwell chip made in the USA, produced by Taiwan's TSMC in their factories in the US. TSMC's strong momentum and other semiconductor moves have supported broader sector gains. Boeing, Tesla, and Netflix are among the top movers as earnings season heats up, and that is the focus today. Banking sentiment is steadier after last week's worries over regional lenders, though investors remain watchful for signs of ongoing credit stress. Macro overview and other development include the US government shutdown, which continues into its, I would say, I think it's going into the fourth week, with economists warning of a possible but temporary drag on GDP growth. GDP estimates for Q3 are still solid, with an annualized number now cast close to around 3.9%. Mortgage rates sit around 6.29%. And overnight, Amazon Web Services, or AWS, suffered a major outage overnight, affecting trading platforms like Robinhood and Coinbase, but it has not yet affected the market's broader direction. So I would summarize by saying that October 20 opens on upbeat futures as investors gear up for heavyweight earnings report and signs of easing trade tensions, and watch for fresh inflation data, all against a background of persistent government shutdown and vigilance over US-China policy risk. Now, if I look at gold and the highs at which gold has been, of course, it's consolidating a little bit now, but gold has almost gone up, I think, maybe 40 to 50% since January. And US dollar has fallen around 10% in the same period. So this definitely shows a shift in sentiment. And I made a video earlier where I was saying that gold in the central bank reserves is approaching the same level as US treasuries. And also the share of US dollar in global trade is diminishing thanks to bilateral trades by various countries bypassing the US. So I think overall, if you put all of these things together, you have to be careful about what is happening in the market, because the rug pull can happen suddenly and it could be severe. That's my personal opinion, of course, not financial advice. I'd like to hear from you guys what you think. That said, let us go to the TradingView platform and get started with our analysis for today. So here we are in our TradingView platform, and I'm looking at S&P 500 futures. Now, friends, this is the red candle I was talking about. We had a huge drop, and that happened on 10th of October, and we have not yet been able to come out of the context of this huge drop. Now, is it positive or is it negative? Well, if you look at the 50% point out here, we have been half the while we have closed below this and half the while we have closed above that. So it's neither here nor there. And we have this diagonal line of support. As the days go by, this diagonal line of support will be tested. And if we fall below this, then that could give us some indication of where we are going. But if we bounce off this and go towards the top and break out from there, that's a definitive indication of where the market is going. Right now, the market sentiment is bearish. MACD is also bearish, and momentum is above average, but it's not something to write home about. And it can pick up further. So anything can happen. That's the short message that I'm giving you. And I think that over the weekend, I've been reading out about the AI hype. I've been reading various data information points and also articles. I think there is a lot of headwinds for AI. One is AI actually able to deliver so that all the people who have been let go can remain unemployed? I think the answer is probably no. Many companies are finding that AI is not able to bridge the gap entirely, so they would be back. That's what I gather from some of the articles. It could be a spin, but I don't know. But that's what I'm hearing. The second thing I'm hearing is that there is not enough power sources to power all the data centers, and also water needed for cooling all these data centers is another constraint. So if you put those two together, then we are likely to go in for more of environmental issues, because Trump policies is definitely not green energy conducive, and therefore any energy that comes in has to either come from nuclear or fossil fuels, which is going to lead to other concerns. So that's another issue. And as the AI data center starts taking more and more energy, you will find that the energy bill for the regular Joe is going to go up. That's another flashpoint that we have to consider. So putting all of those things together, I would say that all this positive that we are seeing here should be taken with a bit of caution, because when the breakdown happens, it could be severe, and we don't want to be caught out that. Next, let us look at NASDAQ. NASDAQ has the same story, but NASDAQ is much stronger than S&P 500. And NASDAQ is showing that it is tending to be more positive, because if you take the 50% point of this red candle, I would say that this would be the 50% point, somewhere around 24,855.50. And we have ended below this only twice. And rest of the time we have closed above that. So I think it is slightly more bullish out here, but then most of the AI companies are concentrated in NASDAQ. So it's bound to happen. But look at the market sentiment. It is bearish. MACD is bearish. Momentum is above average, not something worth writing home about in terms of being super strong. So caution still remains. Dollar index is picking up a little bit. It has seen a whole bunch of bull flags, but this particular bull flag, I don't think has panned out completely, but we will see how it goes, because we're already below the 50% mark of this bull flag out here. So we'll see what happens out there. VIX has come down from the previous highs, but it's still trying to pick up today. It opened a bit lower, but it's improving. So if VIX goes up, that will bring the market down. I'm a perma bear at this point of time, so I'm going to always look for bearish signs, but don't let that dampen your spirit. If you are a bullish participant, maintain your conviction. And if I'm able to convince you, that's great. If not, you put your comments so that I can get convinced. Now, gold is continuing to move up. I would say this is a bullish pennant. We already met our target of 4,328.730. And we even momentarily crossed the 4,300 barrier. So I think we have a bullish pennant in formation. This is a bullish sign, and we are likely to go up further, because central banks are not going to stop printing money. So that's the logic behind that. Put call ratio seems to be mildly bullish to neutral, because it's at 0.89. It's almost 0.9. I would say it's more or less neutral with a slight bullish bias out there. And if I look at the Canadian 5-year yields, they continue to languish somewhere around 2.641. This shows the weakness in the economy, and this also is going to be a really good catalyst for the real estate segment, which is suffering very badly. And the real estate segment in Canada could potentially drag the economy down, along with the tariff wars that we have and the low oil prices. So I'm looking forward to this interest rate going down further. Our target is 2.619, and I think we are heading in that direction. Because if you look at this as a bullish pennant or it's more looking like a bearish pennant. If this is the bear flagpole, and then this is the bearish pennant, the probability of breaking downside is much higher than breaking upside. So that said, let's go on and look at the indicators. S&P 500. So you'll see that S&P 500 is still within the confines of this huge red candle formed on the 10th of October. So, and if you look at the days that we have closed below it, it's 1, 2, at least 2 days we have closed below this 50% mark, and 1, 2, and 3 days we have closed above it. So there's a slight bullish bias on the S&P 500 index. NASDAQ also is doing pretty good, and NASDAQ is more or less closing above the 50% mark, so it's looking bullish here as well. And it has got the support of the upper edge of this parallel channel, upper bounds of this parallel channel, I must say. And we have support today at 24,757.17. But market sentiment is bearish, MACD is bearish, and momentum is just above average. Now, QQQ indicates that we are going to open positive. It's up 0.42% in pre-market trades. But remember, this huge context has not been broken. We haven't broken down on the downside nor on the upside. And we are still within this parallel channel. So we are range bound. We have to watch more candles before we can get some clues. But if you're looking at market sentiment, it is still bearish, MACD is bearish, and momentum is just above average. Now, I would like to go from here directly into AI, and I'm looking at NVDA. Now, I would like to go into a weekly chart out here, just momentarily. And I want to say that we have this huge topping tail out here. And this topping tail is still in operation because we did not take it out last week. And when we go to the daily context, this gets lost because there are many candles out here. So we are still in a bearish situation. And I would say that this is more like a bearish pennant than anything else. And we still have a resistance at 183.63. And right now, pre-market, we are at 182.99, down 0.13%. So this is what it looks like for NVIDIA. And we had a reverse head and shoulder target of around 203.11. Now, that could probably come back into play if there is some positive news in the market, and if there is a trade announcement with China or removing some restriction on NVIDIA chip export, then the entire semiconductor section will go up. And that will drag the entire indices upwards, and we'll be talking a different tune altogether. So it's all wait and watch. Market manipulation, I think, is the name of the game. And whoever can manipulate the market, they are manipulating it. If you recollect, we had a series of announcements of companies buying of OpenAI, getting in partnership with companies and buying their chips and getting warrants in return. All those things also propped up everything. And I think OpenAI is becoming a big risk factor. If they do not deliver on their promises, then I think we are going to have a big problem for the entire index as well as the market. So that's my feeling. Please put your thoughts out there so that I can get an idea of what you are thinking about. Next, we look at Meta. Meta again is I would say it's up 0.55% in pre-market trades. Let's go into the weekly context momentarily to see if we have any topping tails out here that we are worried about. No, we don't have anything as such, but we are still within the context of the candle from 29th of September, and we still are below 737.13, which is going to be our resistance for today. So that's what we have for Meta. And we have Google. Google is broken out of the bullish pennant, and we have a target for it of around 259.10. Right now it's at 254.98, indicating around at least $4 of gain remaining on Google. And market sentiment is bearish, MACD is bearish, but tending towards the signal line. Momentum is pretty elevated, some room on the RSI. So Google is definitely looking positive today. Amazon is up 0.05%. But friends, let me tell you, we are approaching a target of 206.89 for Amazon. And I think we are traveling in that direction. Every morning we have a little bit of positive, and then what forms is a red candle. We have the three black crows formation out here. So this is a bearish formation. I think a fourth red candle cannot be ruled out. Apple is up 1.47% in pre-market trade. Apple is looking pretty strong indeed, and it's managed to break out of the context of the 10th October candles. And right now in pre-market, it's above that at 1.45% gain. It's at $256, and it has a resistance today of 261.12. And if we end up closing above 256.28, then I would say that the bearishness has been cleared out, and we could probably start setting the stage for more gains by building a foundation out here. Microsoft is flat in pre-market trades, and for me, Microsoft seems to give this reverse head and shoulder pattern, but I can see that we are continuing to drop below, and we have been under the resistance of 514.53 for quite a while now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. And today, we are at 513.60 in pre-market action, up just 0.02 cents. And that means that we'll have to wait for today to see if we are able to break out from here. If we are able to break out, then I would look at confirmation about this line of resistance, converting it into a support. So we need a few more candles now to make any direction. Tesla is up 1.04%, very good consolidation out here. And this consolidation can lay the foundation for further gains. However, you can notice that market sentiment has become bearish. MACD is also bearish. Momentum is still above average, and we have earnings coming up on 22nd of October, which is 2 days from now. So anything could happen. We have a little gap up that needs to be filled up. And along with the gap up also, we have support from this parallel channel. So let us see what happens. We need a few more candles out there. Oracle is down 0.24% in pre-market trades. It will get support today at 283.11. AMD is up 1.88% in pre-market trades, but it's finding that 237.06 was difficult resistance to break. This morning, it's slightly above that resistance. So I'm not going to make a call right now. I would like to see what happens when the market opens and then take it from there. For just a little more clarity, I'm going to momentarily go into the weekly time frame and look at what kind of candles AMD has formed. I'm not much concerned out there. I would like to see more candles coming up today for AMD before making any call, because right now I'm not able to discern the direction. SMCI is up 3.87% in pre-market activity, and I'm thinking that this is kind of a bullish pennant out here. I'm going to ignore this plateau, and I'm going to think of this as a bullish pennant. And if this happens to be a bullish pennant, the probability of it breaking up is higher than it breaking down. Market sentiment is bullish, MACD is just bearish, and momentum is below average and dropping. So I don't know which side to make a call, but pre-market, it's up 3.91%. I'm going to let it go. Broadcom is up 0.80% in pre-market trades. It will definitely get support at 335. And we have Palantir, which is up 0.92%. Again, it's forming a nice handle out here, in my opinion. A whole lot of consolidation, but no definitive movement either way. So I don't know what to make of Palantir. Market sentiment is bearish, MACD is bearish, momentum is just at average. So we need some indication from here, either a breakdown or a breakup. Now, this candle from 3rd of October, where we saw a huge drop, is still the major context under which we are moving. Now, just for a little bit of clarity, let us go and see if Palantir has got any topping tail on a weekly chart. So I would say that we definitely have a topping tail out here, and we have not yet broken that context. So that's one way of looking at it. But yeah, I would still say that I don't know where Palantir is going. So I'm going to not make a call out there. SMH It's very important for the index where SMH goes. So when the index and SMH today is knocking at the resistance of 346.70. Right now we're at 345.73. If we break above this and confirm about this, then I think that it's a good news for index, but we'll have to watch what happens here. Tempus AI is up 3.80% in pre-market action, and we have a resistance of 90.18, which got converted into support because we are above that right now. And right now we're at 91.12. So if we manage to close above this and confirm this support, that could be the foundation for the future. Otherwise, this chart is looking bearish to me because market sentiment is also tending towards neutral. On the way to bearishness. MACD is super bearish and momentum is just at average. However, pre-market action gives me a little hope. So we'll watch a few more calendars form. And then I'm going to make a separate video on Celsius holding because I see some patterns out there. It's going to be very interesting to watch. Now let's go on from here to genomics. In genomics, Prime is back within the bull flag context. It had momentarily broken up, but then came back down. Today it's up 2.20%. It's at 5.57, but resistance today is at 5.68. So it is still in this bull flag. And I think if I was to look at the flag, let us say I put the flag from here all the way up to here, it no longer looks like a bull flag to me. With today's action, we are already below 50% of the flagpole. So I correct myself. I would say that we are in a bear channel out here until we get any other signal. And for us, the support is at 4.56 for Prime. Intelia is up 2.38% in pre-market trades. And friends, if you recollect, we had earlier put a target of around 29.87. Now I'm asking myself, is the target still valid? And I don't have an answer for that. I see good consolidation out here, but it's neither looking like a flag nor looking like a pennant. So if I was to think of this as a flag and that we broke out from here, then our breakout is not going the way I expected. So I don't know what is forming out here. So I'm not going to remove this target, and I'm not going to say that we are going bearish. I'm going to wait for a few more candles to see if I can get any credible direction. Now, the next one that we have out here happens to be Caribou Biosciences, and I'm looking at Caribou Biosciences, and I think that probably we may need to do a separate video on Caribou Biosciences. There are some patterns in here which will come out much more clearer. I'll do a separate article on that or a separate video on that. Right now, we are up 1.14% in pre-market activities. We are still below yesterday's red candle. So what I want to do first is that for us to break above the closing of yesterday. And if we end up within the context of this candle for today, I would be happy with that instead of being below. And that could set the foundation for something positive that we can look for going forward to. So it will be a separate video. I want to talk about it. I want to put a little fundamentals and put the technicals together. So there's a video coming up on Caribou Biosciences soon. And then we have Beam, which is up 1.69% in pre-market trades. And we had a bull flag, and I thought that it came down here and it broke out, but then it changed its mind and it's again doing the strange thing that Prime is doing. So I don't know where this is going. So I'm not going to make a call on this right now. Altimmune is up 1.04% in pre-market trades. Fortunately, it's continuing to go on this diagonal line of support, which is a gentle slope upwards. So I'm hoping that we are able to bounce off from here like we did on Friday. So today also, if we bounce off from here and close above yesterday's or Friday's opening, then I'll be happy for Altimmune. Editas is up 0.13% in pre-market trades. And again, same like Prime, I can't say where it is going, but it's definitely under the influence of this topping tail out here. So overall, it's a bearish context. We have not been able to break that. For Illumina also, I think I have a separate video coming up for Illumina. And today, Illumina is up 0.54%, and it's still going to get support at 93.81 for today. And pre-market, it's up 0.54%. It's at 95.98. Market sentiment is bearish but improving. MACD is bearish but improving. And momentum is just below average. And we have earnings coming up on the 30th of October. So expect a little bit of movement for Illumina. Then we have CRISPR Therapeutics. I don't have any major revelations for CRISPR Therapeutics. Overall, it's a good company. It met and exceeded our target of 73.77. I'm going to remove this because it's no longer relevant. Let us declutter the chart while we are at it. I'm just going to take a few more minutes to do the cleaning up out here. And yeah, that's done. So I would say that there is no clue here for CRISPR Therapeutics where it is going. So I'll watch a few more candles, and I'm hoping that we are still riding this diagonal line of support. Allogene is up 2.44% in pre-market trades. It's going to have a resistance of 1.35. Then we have Grail, which is up 13.37% in pre-market. Grail has announced a private placement financing. So this is the news flash. Grail announces $325 million private placement financing. Now let us see if we have more context out here. So, healthcare company whose mission is to detect cancer early when it can be cured today announced that it has entered into a securities purchase agreement for a private placement that is expected to result in gross proceeds of approximately $325 million before deducting placement agents fees and other expenses. And it includes participation by new and existing institutional investors in deep track capital, etc. So that's a vote of confidence in the company. So definitely that's going to translate into positive movement out here. And yeah, so it's looking good. But again, it's kind of dilution in my opinion because more shares have been issued. So that's the way I'm thinking. If you guys have a different opinion, let me know in the comment section. So I'm thinking that all of this has to give up and come back down again. Now let's look at PACB. It's up 1.83% in pre-market trades. I have nothing to say out here except that we have a huge topping tail. We are still in the context of yesterday's or Friday's candle. So we have to close above this. We have to extinguish the topping tail or else we are still in a bearish context. ARCG is up 2.06% in pre-market trades. It's above Friday's opening, so that's a positive sign. If we close above this, then we still have this topping tail that we need to take off. So we are still in a bearish context, but improving. Vertex is up 0.05%. It still continues to have support from 413.74. I'm going to mark this green. And then if you look at Ginkgo Bioworks, well, it's just consolidating out here. It will have a resistance at around 14.95. And yeah, market sentiment is bullish, but waning. MACD is already bearish. Momentum is below average. So it's definitely looking bearish. It has this topping tail, which is going to continue to influence the proceedings for Ginkgo Bioworks. Then I would like to go to Precision. Precision is up 1% again, pre-market trades, and it has a support at 3.64. And there is no news as such for Precision. Eli Lilly is up 0.12%, but it's still within this regression channel in which it has been all the way from, let me just close this news flash out here. It's been there all the way from 20th May 2024. So I'm thinking of making a separate video on this to try to find out how long we'll be in this regression channel. Are we going to continue falling down like this? Or is there any hope for Eli Lilly? It's a pretty good pharmaceutical major and it shouldn't be languishing like this. So we'll check that out. Then even if you look at it from an investment perspective, like if you had patience and if you could do swing trading, look at where it was somewhere around 3rd of March. If you had shorted that, then somewhere around 7th of April, you would have seen hints that it's going to go up and you could have sold off your shorts. You would have had notice all the way up to 11th of April. If you sold your shorts, you made that money. And then if you went long here, you could have made a lot of money by 29th of April. And if you didn't sell it out here, you could have still sold somewhere around 1st of May and made some money. So those probabilities are there. Of course, hindsight is 2020, but I'm thinking my idea is to make a video on Eli Lilly and try to see if we can game out something like this, which may happen in the future if the pattern is going to repeat itself. And if that is the case, then probably we can try to make some money out there. So if I succeed in formulating my thoughts and coming with a good hypothesis, then I'll make a video on that. Next, we have RAN, which is Ultragenics. It's up 1.12%. It has got a cup and handle pattern, which gives a target of 35.15. And Friday's action, along with the entire market, was a bit of a damper, but I'm still holding out hope that today we'll start doing a little bit of cleanup and repair and set the foundation to meet our cup and handle target. And then I want to look at RKT for INF. I'm not very happy with RKT. I think it's still in a bearish context, a huge topping tail, which is still the main context. And then if we go to, let's go to crypto. Bitcoin USD. Bitcoin is moving simpatico with the indices, so no surprise that it's going up out here. But trust me, if the indices go down, Bitcoin will also follow suit. And it has got support today at 109,272.44, and it has got resistance today at 114,181. Now, look at Ethereum. Same story out here. Three soldiers pattern, which is a bullish pattern. It's again going up today, but it's also linked with Bitcoin as well as the indices. So where the indices go, there we will find Ethereum going. XRP USD, same story. It's also picking up, but the fact remains that it's still somewhere around this diagonal line, which is moving downwards. So it's actually a bear channel, and we are just entwined around this bear channel going up and down. So Hot Dog is saying, while BTC .D is 59 altcoins, just follow BTC. Yes, altcoins just follow BTC. That's true. So BTC.D, let me put this here because Hot Dog has been talking about this quite a while. Let me see what this BTC.D is. BTC.D is market cap BTC dominance index, crypto cap index. Okay, so it's some kind of an index. Let us do a little analysis on this index. You see this huge topping tail out here? That is still in operation. That is still in operation. And let's go into a weekly context and have a quick look at BTC.D. I don't see anything in the weekly context. So let's go back to daily. Yeah, so there is not much I can divine from this. So that's it, my friends. That brings me to an end of today's session, and I'll catch up with you guys later on. I hope you guys had a great weekend. And those of you who are celebrating Diwali, happy Diwali to you all. And yeah, that's it. I'll catch up with you again in the next video. Please do check out the Substack. I put up articles out there many times, more details on the long form videos that I put out here. So check it out. And I also have started a little bit of satire out there. Check it out if you like it. Give it a like. Thanks and have a great day. Thanks, Hot Dog, for joining. Bye for now, and see you all later.